Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another great video here. Today's going to be more so a recap of my trades from this morning. Okay, I took a few entries off the ES and the NASDAQ, mostly the NASDAQ today, because the ES futures has really not been, as of today. We've got some decent movement today, but I guess I've been kind of more so glued to my NASDAQ chart. Today, I primarily trade, yes, the ES futures, okay, the E-mini S&P 500. But today and yesterday, I decided to take a stab and started looking at the NASDAQ as well. I always have it, you know, the NQ up on another chart, another monitor to the right. But my primary focus is the ES on most days. Now, I did take a trade from the ES today. I also took a trade into the overnight session yesterday evening, and I'll talk about that right quick because it was just a pullback to a key area of demand right here. Okay, I took it yesterday around about, I guess, about 8 o'clock, and I was looking for it to come up to this area pretty much right here. All right, and I took out around about, I think it was around 44.15. So excuse me, that was a trade into the overnight session, and I put a stop on that last night because it did go into the overnight session, and which I'll show you right now. Now what you see here is I entered the trade here at 44.09 3/4. It did pull back a little bit before moving in my direction, so I didn't want to see it break pretty much. This was the area of demand. I didn't want it to really break. I always talk about the halfway point of a demand or supply zone. So really break between below 44.03. Yes, you know, that is a significant stop area. But you know, I entered the trade once I saw the break above. You know, I always talk about break of a candle in opposite direction type technique. So basically at the break right here, 44.09, I didn't catch it then because I wasn't in front of my chart. So I saw price tapping into this, you know, this demand area right here after we had this, you know, push up where price is making higher highs and higher lows. Boom, breaks higher. And because we got a break of structure right here. So price had pushed up here, pulled back, broke structure to the upside, pulled back here, demand, waited for some signs of rejection here, and took the long, just aiming for this area here for roughly about 5 points, okay? So that was a trade I took into the overnight session. All right, I'm going over my ES trades right quick as a rundown for today. You know, it's a simple technique. I use supply and demand, okay? That's the style of trading, how I trade. Basically, price pulling back to a key area. So basically, if you're a first-time viewer, guys, I trade, you know, primarily just centering around areas where price pulls back to key areas of aggressive buying and selling, which is supply and demand. If you do not know much about supply and demand and you want to kind of, I hate to use the term learn because I'm not a teacher or an educator, but it is a style of how I actually trade and the strategy I use. I have videos on the channel to where you can go and watch them and, you know, watch me trade as I discuss in detail and break down, you know, trade entries as well as talk, you know, guys, on this channel here, I go into depth in so many videos about how I trade, okay? So, you know, yes, there's a lot of videos, but if you take the time and thumb through them and watch them, you will pick up on the way I trade. You know, I'm not gonna say I assure you, but I will say that we have tons of traders, or you know, a good amount of traders on the channel, especially as part of the Discord community, that are faring pretty well in their own trading after, you know, coming across the channel and watching. So I recommend you become a subscriber. Sub to the channel here if you have not. So go ahead and do so by clicking on the subscribe button down below. Make sure to turn that bell on. Click on that bell so you never miss one of the uploads here on the channel. Okay, so I'm going to go into the next trade today that I took on the ES. And it was right here. Just a simple demand zone right here. Price pushed up, pull back, boom. We got a break, you know, to the upside here. Demand zone sitting right here. And so we got push up, pull back. Okay, break of structure right above here at 44.20 3/4. Price pulls back, saw it. Quick scalp, just scalping it real quick for 2.5. I think it's like 2.5 or 2.2 and 3/4 points. Just back up to this area right here. Okay, now I did not take this supply zone entry. This was a definite great entry to take. Some people in the Discord actually took it. For sure, I should have taken that trade, but I was busy doing something else. but I did capitalize on this demand setup right here. I did post it over on our Discord community, which I will show you right now. And again, if you're not part of the Discord, all you have to do is find the link down in the description portion of this video and just click on it and invite yourself in. This is the trade right here I took, okay, off the ES, posted it on our Discord. Demand zone right here, and I was aiming for this area right here. So this was the trade entry. I showed both on my 12 range, which was I used this chart today as the entry chart, but if you scale down to the 4 range as well, as I talk about, we see a demand zone sitting right here on the 12 range, right? And we also see a demand zone sitting here on the 4 range. So I talk about confluence, right? The more confluence we have, the better, or the higher the probability is going to be in our favor as far as a setup, okay? So we've got 2 means of demand resting back at a key area. And there was also an imbalance right here within the demand zone, as well as in the demand zone on the 4R. So when I saw the rejection, I took the long entry, picked up 2 3/4 points. Pretty easy, okay? So this trade is, I posted it on our Discord. Now, if you want to become a Discord member, again, all you have to do is find the link down in the description portion of the video. Click on it, invite yourself in. Go to the trading floor. The trading floor is the channel on the community where we as community members come together and we post screenshots of our entries and trades on the daily during the US session. So today again, I was trading both the E-mini S&P 500 and the ES, and I posted a few screenshots of my actual trades. Okay, so moving on, as I said, now this was a nice supply zone setup. Once you get, the market gets into this area here, you look for rejection. You can scale down to the 4 range chart. You can look for a slight break of structure on the 4 range, pull back, and then take a short entry going short. Where to capitalize, but looking back here at a 12 range, to capitalize on this area of liquidity resting right below. So take your trade out around 44.18, at least majority of your contracts, and then let the rest, let your last contract or 2 trail behind, okay? So I didn't catch that one there, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was waiting for this setup right here. At the zone where the supply resting right here. Price has not topped back into it yet, so I don't know if it is or not, but right now it does seem as if it's continuing trying to push lower. Now there is a demand area on the 60R, and I'm going to show you that right quick, which is my higher time frame chart. Right here, we have a demand area resting right here. We have an imbalance or gap right there as well, around 43.86. So this is a demand area off the higher time frame. If price gets to there, then we could possibly see some means of rejection, I'm pretty sure. But, the market can do anything it wants, correct? So I'm going to go over to the NASDAQ now, and I took a few entries off the NASDAQ. I want to kind of run those down. I posted both of those entries on the Discord. So, again, you can go over to the Discord community and see those trades as well. All right, so we have a key area of demand right here on the NASDAQ, right? You can see that the market was making lower lows and lower highs. Pushing to the downside, breaking structures to the downside. This arrow right here would have been the key area to look for profit at, okay? That's why I had that green arrow marked right there, all right? So, as price was, made this low here, it turned back around and started making higher highs and higher lows. It took out structure right here, pulls back to a key area of demand. If I said supply, guys, please forgive me. But demand right here, and once price tapped into this area here, we do have a little imbalance right there, okay, a gap at the zone. I looked for break of a candle in the opposite direction. You could have scaled down to even a lower time frame chart like the 4R, but I traded this off of my 12R, got the break of the candle in the opposite direction, and I was aiming for areas of liquidity above, primarily above 14,997. We did have the 15,000 area resting above us. But if you look to the left-hand side of the chart, you can just as well see we have imbalances or gaps that need to be filled. So I got out, I believe, right here at the top around 14,997. Okay, so solid trade right there. I'll show you that here on the Discord. Okay, here on the Discord, you see the trade right here that I took. Again, my entries are posted over on the Discord for those that are, current members here. And subscribe to the channel. If you're new, go ahead and sub to the channel. Come over and invite yourself into the Discord by finding that link down in the description portion of this video. Again, so that was the first trade that I took on the NASDAQ, okay? So I think I picked up roughly around about 7 points on that trade there. Now the next trade was a beautiful short. I'm gonna show you. So the market at this point was making higher highs and higher lows, right? Okay. Then it folds and starts making lower lows and lower highs, breaking structure as it's pushing back to the downside. Okay. So we got the swing down, breaking structure here, pulls back, makes a new low. This was a supply zone that I was waiting for price to pull back to. Okay. And I posted this entry as well on the Discord. So I'm gonna show you that now. Price retraces back to the zone. When we got back to the zone, all I was doing was looking for a means of rejection to take a short and aiming for key areas of liquidity below, which would have been this area right here, I believe, was my focus or target area. Okay, I'm gonna show you that right here on the Discord. You can see the trade. Got back to the zone right here. I didn't have it marked off here, but I had a mental note in my mind of where I wanted to get into the trade at the supply zone. Price pulls back to it right here. Got rotation. See price wicking out right here. That's a sign of rejection. Price taps into it. Boom. I'm aiming for this area right here. At this point here, you see I was up almost 12 points on the NASDAQ trade, and it runs down here and picked up even a few more points on that trade. So it was a beautiful, beautiful trade going short there. I think I'm not quite sure what it ended up being, but and looking at it, but it was a nice run back to the downside off this short entry right here. So overall, we are, looking bearish here on the NASDAQ as we're continuously making lower lows and lower highs. Scooting over to the higher time frame. Let me take a look right here right quick. Now on the higher time frame, I would say that we're kind of bullish still. We haven't really broken any major areas of structure to the downside. So the higher time frame NASDAQ, I'd say bullish because we got this, big push to the upside since last Friday, breaking some key areas of structure. And now we're just kind of pulling back. This is a key area of price. Let's see here. Tap back into this demand area right here around 10:30 this morning, 10:40 this morning. So it's testing this area right here. There's a slight imbalance right here around 14,967 and a quarter. Hasn't filled that area yet, but if we look at the lower time frame on my 12-hour, yes, we look bearish. Okay, so my trades, especially this trade here, was based solely off of the 12 range. Now I'm going against the grain from the higher time frame because we've got breaking structures where price is bearish on the 12-hour. So you don't always have to be 100% in confluence with the higher time frame, but I recommend if you are a beginner trader to please try your best to trade in the direction of the higher time frame because it's going to aid and you'll get higher probability setups and it will work out more so in your favor when you got multiple charts or multiple means of confluence from multiple charts lining up. Okay, so let's see here. So I just want to talk about that one setup that I showed you. I missed it around about 945, 950. Okay, this was as a supply zone. All right. Right here, pull back the key area supply. Now you could have taken it, if you waited to take it directly off of the 12 range chart, okay, and I'll talk about, as I talk about the break of a candle in the opposite direction, then you probably wouldn't have gotten to the trade till like down here and you've been late on the trade, okay. I'll also talk about multiple chart confluence or paired charts, using paired charts. Look, because if you mark an area of supply or demand off of a higher time frame chart, you can, if you want to get into a more of a, I say, precise entry point, I talk about the techniques of like using the M or W structure, right? But you can also, and I also talk about using the break of structure technique. So basically, when price taps into, in this case here, a supply zone here off this higher time frame chart, and then we scale down to a lower time frame chart, you can look for a break of structure off of that off that lower time frame chart to happen, okay? Or you could be looking for paired zones. Okay, let's talk about that. Paired zones means this here. We got a 12-hour supply zone, right? So that's one zone. Now, if we scale down to the 4 range chart, okay, same area, which is going to be right here, okay, there is also, we get a break of structure to the downside, price pulls back, there is a supply zone right here. So we got a supply zone on the 12-hour, supply zone at the same area where the 12-hour supply zone was at, here on the 4R, okay? So we have both a 12R supply zone and a 4R supply zone. So if you got multiple confluence areas on, these two charts, okay, or two charts, paired together, you can basically look for maybe rejection by means of an M structure. We get it right here, a little rotation. It's a little M structure right here. Then we get the break of a candle in the opposite direction. I'll blow this up a little bit so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Right here, this candle here takes out to the downside at 23, breaks below this last bullish candle to the upside. We got that M structure, that little rotation right here on the 4R. This was a supply zone. Go short, okay? And what are you aiming for? Areas of liquidity below, okay? Areas of liquidity would be right here below 20, okay? So, and then price continues running lower. So you pick yourself up a pretty much an easy 3 points right there, even by taking the trade off of the full range chart. But we're using two paired charts together, marking 2 areas of supply, okay? One on the 12R, okay? And wait for price to get back to it. Price taps into it. We look to see if there is an area of supply on the 4R chart, okay? And then you can get to the trade that way as well. That way, you know, you can get into the trade as soon as the rejection is unfolding or things are starting to unfold. You can get into it quicker, okay? So try to use some of those techniques, you know, whether you want to look for the M structured kind of formation as a means of rejection. But for me, I'm all about trading supply and demand, so I will be looking for, you know, multiple confluence or multiple zone confluence areas on, you know, 2 different charts, the higher time frame and the lower time frame, okay? All right, so that's what you can do. All right, so we keep breaking structure to the downside here on the 12 range chart here on the E-mini S&P 500. So this zone right here, I will mark a supply zone right here. This is a supply zone. We've got a major high volume area. I would be looking for, you know, maybe price, you know, for price to pull back to this key area here and maybe take a short entry if we get rejection to the downside. There is a major area of demand resting below us on the 60R. So, you know, price could be trying to set itself up to kind of tap into that higher time frame 60R demand zone. Okay, I showed that earlier on into this video. So that's pretty much all I want to share with you guys today. Just kind of, you know, going over my trades and letting you know some possible areas where there were, you know, entries to take. Again, there were people in the Discord. Some people took this trade right here. You know, fantastic. You know, that was a great trade setup for anybody that took that trade there. So beautiful. All right. So, I mean, you could have basically taken that trade right there and, you know, possibly been done for the day. I mean, yeah, you know, it wouldn't have been, if you have multiple contracts on, you know, I talk about, you know, picking up 4 or 5 points and being done for the day. Or maybe you got into another little trade, whatever the case is. It doesn't take much to profit, all right? Just be patient. I always talk about that part there because a lot of people struggle with that when it comes to that whole psychological piece of not being able to, it's 2 things. Well, a couple of things. They're not patient. They are chasing, which is they allow themselves to become greedy, or they allow fear to set in. So, you know, those are probably pretty much the biggest components when it comes to a psychological standpoint that most people need to or have a hard time controlling. Trust me when I say that, all right? Everybody goes through that phase, okay? So, outside of that, that's all I want to share with you guys. Again, if you're interested in joining the Discord, find the link down in the description portion of the video. If you're not a current subscriber, I recommend that you sub to the channel because there's loads of information that I give away for free. I mean, I'm just sharing what I know with the community or just generally the public out there because I want to see people win. And I know there are so many people out there that are frustrated and they're continuously losing on the day or daily or have been losing for weeks, months, and years. So supply and demand to me is like the most powerful stuff out there. Okay, you just got to know how to trade it the correct way and what to look for. I have tons of videos here in the channel, you know, that are available, free to watch, and will definitely help you out. But you got to become a subscriber, sub to the channel, and come over to the Discord community as well. So, you know, click on that sub button, okay? Click on the bell down below. And the last thing I want to say, please make sure to drop a like on the video. You know, it helps me, helps the algorithm, and it helps spread the word about the content that I have or I'm sharing here within this community here on YouTube so that other fellow people like yourself can gain access to, and it just helps push it out there, okay? All right, so I appreciate everyone tuning in. If you're interested in becoming an elite member, because I always get people who DM me or send me messages asking how they can become an elite member, just simply click on the join button. You'll see it somewhere, I believe, next to or near the subscribe button. Or there's a join button, I believe, on the homepage as well on the YouTube channel. If you click on join, okay, then it brings up 2 tiers. The elite channel member tier is, where you get all the bells and whistles, the emojis, the badges, the priority reply to comments, as well as you get the trade breakdowns where I go in detail when I post entries of covering my trades. I break those trades down so as if you're getting a learning I guess course or class right in front of you. I'm not saying it's an educational course or anything. I'm just saying I go over the trades and break them down in detail, and that seems to really help people out. As well as you get the video playlist to where I pretty much hand selected a list of videos that I think that are cover the hot topics or areas that I feel that people should really know when it comes to how I trade and the strategy I use. So if you're interested in joining and becoming an elite member, all you have to do is click on that join button. Okay, become a member. $6.99 a month, not a week, not a day. It's just monthly. It is not $699. It's $6.99 a month. Okay, and I appreciate for all those community members out there, which we have a lot of them that have signed up and are doing pretty well. They're learning by the day. Again, I don't have an educational type course, but I just feel as if, for a very nominal fee of $6.99, you're basically supporting me as a content creator, but I'm giving, a lot of information away for free that I feel as if people should know, should know, or trying to know, or trying to learn. And, I'm not here to rob anybody's pockets, I guess I should say. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to share what I know, pass it along, because we all have some means of wisdom and things we've learned that other people may want to learn just as well. So here it is, okay? Thank you for tuning in today and watching. I'll see everyone in the next video. Again, please take the time to go ahead and click on that like button for me. I appreciate it. See you in the next one. Take care.